D1 men's golf has really gone global the last 20 years. Let's look at the numbers. I ended up scraping every roster I could find online from D1 men's golf teams. I ended up with more than 40,000 players, almost 10,000 freshmen in a 20-year span from when these guys were national champions till when these guys were national champions last year. When I compare my clean data to the NCAA participation report over the past 20 years, I got roughly 60% coverage in the from part, meaning I have around 60% of the athletes identified on where they're from. The gaps in the data are pretty spread out as well. There are some Power 4 schools, some non-Power 4. They're from different states. So I'd say the data is pretty representative and definitely indicative of some trends happening. The main story here is this graph, which is the share of freshmen that are US born. We see up until 2011, the percentage being in the high 80s every year, whereas in recent years, it's been in the low 70s. More golf teams have been added to Division I. Here's the graph from the NCAA participation report where we see a steady increase, with the only exception being the COVID year and a little bit of lagging effect behind that. You would think this would lead to an overall increase in opportunities, but here's the average roster size in the scrape data, which lines up really well with the NCAA participation report as well. They've decreased steadily again with the COVID year being the exception and some lagging effect due to all the red shirts after. Due to the decrease in roster sizes, it's actually been a little negative effect on total spots. Pay attention to that black line up there. We see that hover around 3,000 with a slight decline in recent years. This is from the NCAA participation report again. In order to estimate number of spots for US-born players and international-born players, let's multiply the participation report number, this 3,000 number, by the share of US versus international-born players from my scrape data. That's when we get these red and blue lines, red being US-born players and blue being international-born players. Here's a zoom in on the international-born player graph. Number of internationals have more than doubled since 2010. With declining overall roster spots, the effect to US-born players is a big decline. With this logic, up until 2016, US-born players accounted for more than 2,000 players, while since COVID has steadied around 1,700. I published a full free report on my Substack. You can find the link in my bio.